Okay, so before I talk about how to bring a 3D model from Bridge Megascan, I do mention a few things really quick about using the content from starter content one more time. In the starter content, in under the materials, you have a bunch of materials, and all of these materials you can simply drag and drop to your asset applied in a level, which will immediately show up. So even all of these chairs, they come from the same reference, but they could have a different look, right? So just drag and drop, you can see the new material show up. And we'll make a selection. You can go to details, and then you can see this material has been changed. So this is an individual material applied to the instance. If you don't like it, you can click reset. So it's going back to the default. Okay. So this is just let you know, even you have the a few asset, but they could have a different look in a level. If you do want to customize the color of the shader, because we have many people using this shader, using this starter content together, so I would recommend if you want to use it or customize it, please make a copy in your local folder. Then you can have the freedom to change. So for example, I don't like this blue color, I can drag and drop into 18 Tom. This is my personal folder, and then I will say copy here. Okay, so now you got this kind of warning because this new material has exactly the same name of the old one. So I will go ahead and rename it. I will say my TM color, whatever name you think makes sense. Right? So you have this kind of new material duplicated from the starter content, and then you can double click and then you can customize. So maybe I want to have this as purple color, for instance, right? And then I can save it. So now you have the purple version. You can drag and drop. So this is how you can customize. You can save all. So save both the color and the level. So you can have this kind of new look without impact other people's level. Right, so I understand if I go to the material, if I make the change directly here, so whoever using this shader in other levels, they will be impacted. That's the reason I like to make a duplication, drag and drop, choose copy, so you have an independent control on this material. Okay, I think this is all for the changes I did for the material. And then let's talk a little bit about other ways to bring the model into Unreal. So I want to talk quickly about how to use this guy. The name is not Data Smith, the Quixel Bridge. Okay. Before I do that, I really want to mention quickly, Quixel Bridge is a plugin for Unreal. If you don't see this option, just go to Settings, Plugins, and here you can type Quixel Bridge or Bridge. You should check this, restart a project, it will show up. And also when you run this Quixel Bridge, it requires you to log in an Unreal user account. So if you don't have it, make sure you set it up. Then you have access to all the library, all the content within this Megascan content browser. Okay, so as you can see, once I log in to my user account, then I'm able to search the 3D content. They have different categories such as environment, all the 3D objects, essential, vegetation, archways. So there's a lot of stuff here. Yeah, feel free to check it out. A really good way you can use it is actually just search. So it depends on what you want to have. So for example, let's see, because this is actually for something like you can make the signage easily on the ground. You can go to surface. This is basically material. They are all pretty high resolution, so really good. So for example, if I want to add a chair, so I'm just type chair here. I have all kinds of chairs. For example, I like this blue chair. You can see this download button, right? But before I do that, I do want to quickly remind you about this diagram. I will drag it here, which I mentioned a couple of times already, is how you should use your local project as a testing ground. Because right now, this is, let me close this. This is the mega, right? So this is my current project shared with everybody, right, through the GitHub. So I do not really want people to accidentally, experimenting things later. You don't need it. You have to delete. So it will be pretty messy, UHP meta. So a better solution to do this is you do this in a separate project, which is the Arc 3015 one. This is Unreal project. In the Unreal project, I do all the testing, the local files. You can try as many as you want without worry you're gonna burden the GitHub, right? So the key point is in these two projects, you do want to have this kind of identical folder between them. So for example, in the UHP meta, I have 18 Tom. So in Unreal, I want to have the same folder name, 18 Tom in my content. So everything I experimented here, I can download as many as I want. I can choose the best one. And then in the future, I can easily migrate the content from the Unreal project into the GitHub UHP meta project. So that's my suggestion. Create something in your local. So here, in my local folder, right, as you can see, I already have a GitHub, not GitHub, Unreal. I have this new folder called Arc 3051. Under the content, I want to create exactly the same name for my experiment. So what I will do now is I will go ahead and close Unreal. Okay, and then maybe before I run my local, I want to just a good habit is whatever things you have changed, right, into your UH meta, I want to push this to the cloud. So I think I add this kind of purple, pink chair. So I just want to, adding this. So these art files has been changed by me. So you can see besides my level, right, 18 Tom, I have this color material, right? This has been duplicated from the starter content. So it's green color, means this is new. I don't really need to change anything here for the files outside my folder. So I will just commit this as a pink chair, commit to the main, and then push it. So that's a good habit. Each time you log off, you just synchronize today's change, right, to the cloud. Right, then I can close it. Then I will go ahead open the local Unreal project. This has nothing to do with GitHub. I'm purely using this as my testing ground to try all kinds of free asset from the library. Okay, so once I run this project, I will go ahead to let's make sure I have exactly the same folder, right? So I will create a new folder. I give the name as 18 Tom. So this is identical, right? Within this folder, I will go ahead and create a new level. I will choose basic. Right? In the basic, I'm going to just simply do is to save, right, the current level into 18 Tom. I will give this name, I don't know, 18 Tom level. Yeah, whatever name you like. Okay, so it's here. And then I can, adding other stuff. For the starter content, because this one, I think I already have exactly the same, right, as what I have done before. So in a probes. Yeah, you can see all kinds of geometry. It's here. But anyway, I'm going to use bridge. Right. So go ahead, open. Here, add Mega Bridge, Quicksilver Bridge. Sorry, that's the name. The same thing, Quicksilver Bridge. Yeah, and here I already logged in. So let's go ahead, just find some better chair. Right? Chair. So I like this blue chair. So let's go ahead, select this, and then I'm going to download. I would recommend download a low quality. The reason is we are running this in the VR in the future. If you need a high resolution geometry, if it's too large, it's gonna burden the rendering. Also, you do not want to have nanite. This is for global illumination. We'll talk about this in the future. So for now, just choose a low quality, low poly, low quality download. That's it. So I'll tell you this is the progress to download. Right. Once the download complete, you can actually close. You wonder where is this blue chair? Well, the Quixel Bridge is actually automatically create a folder for you. So under the content, you should be able to see there should be a new folder showed up. Let me see, where is it? I don't see it. That's strange. So let me go back to my Quixel Bridge. Let me see my chair. I think we did this. Oh, sorry, I forgot to click this blue button called Add. Yeah, when you download, it's actually just download into your local library. You haven't really insert into your Unreal project yet. So you have to click this, Add. Now, let's just dock this on the top. So you see there's something happened here, right? So here's a new folder called Megascan 3D Asset, and this is the name for that chair. It's a blue chair. Let's make this thumbnail size a little bit larger, so you can see a bunch of new things showed up. So let me explain them one by one. The first one is the shader, right? This is the material for the chair. The second is the static mesh of the chair. So if you roll over, you can see the triangle is 1000. And the next three are textures. They are basically two-dimension images you can manipulate in Photoshop. Right? So these are the files you download. I do want to actually double-click the shader, or we call the material. You see this material has a little bit different interface from others. It has a channel. So Unreal has a very robust shader network. Really depends on the source of your shader. This could looks quite different. Some of them could have animations embedded. Some of them can simulate, three-dimension bump effects. It's called height map. So it's very, very complicated. So here, the only thing you need to pay attention is just to see if these shaders come with any of the relation to a parent. So here you do see this one has a parent to MS default material. I guess MS stands for Megascan. So if I search, logging this, right, you can see in my content browser, each time you click this kind of button, looks like a, browse button. You basically search whatever that reference linked pointing to. See, this one is actually being linked to this folder, MS preset. I want to talk a little bit, this is a little bit complicated, is each time when you download Megascan, because the material are pretty complicated, it actually installed a local shader library into your local machine. So these are the default shaders. Usually you don't have to change anything inside. They are just come in as a parent of your current shader. So I will leave this as it is. So this is called MS preset. If you do want to right click, you can actually open the Explore. You can see these files. Right? They are just not very big. If I check the property, 7 megabits, not a really big deal. So you can keep them in the current folder. Just keep in mind this is the Megascan folder for preset. Okay, and for our actual download Megascans, right? So this is actually asset. This is your downloaded material, downloaded asset. So the best way to use it is just simply drag and drop. So you see this blue chair there. Okay, that looks pretty good. To have this chair in your level, you can drag it. You can use multiple times. Okay. I will do one more time. So I will go back to my bridge. This time, I don't know. I want to find a sculpture maybe. I don't know. Just something I think is cool. I can use decorate my level. So for example, this one I downloaded a long time ago. Yeah, I think this one is a really good one. Low quality, right? So I will go ahead, add them in. So download this. Okay. So it's taking time, and then I choose add. Okay. So you can see the logic is it's automatically go to this folder called 3D asset, and then here is that sculpture, right? To use the sculpture, I can just drag and drop, and you see the 3D sculpture right here. Cool. All right, so I got my level, and if I play, right, so here I can go to my world setting. I will do to the BP third-person game mode. If I play in the selected view, oops, let me just do number of players as 1. Yeah, I did something earlier for testing. Also, I want to make sure if I play, yeah, here we go. Well, I think I want to change the character back to the superhero girl. This is the superhero Leo. Superhero girl here. If I play, yeah, that's the superhero girl. Yeah, and then I can use F, go up. Right, right. So she's walking, and also I can do Shift. Right, so you can fly and landing. Okay. Yep. So I have this. Well, for this girl, let me just change things really quick. I think I change her speed a little bit slower. So let's change her movement speed back to 600. I think this is the default. Yeah, in the future we'll talk more about this character. So for now you don't have to worry. So I go ahead, save all, and play one more time. Okay, so now she's able to move really fast. Right. So you have this Megascan and blue chair. Okay. Cool. All right. So this is it about the whole process of using a Megascan objects in my level. I will show you one more time if I want to change. Well, I think there's one more thing is about collision. See this chair, if I walk through, it doesn't really block me, right? Because this chair by default do not have a collision. The same thing for this sculpture. So if you do want to turn on the collision, you have to browse to the asset, double click, and here in the collision, I want to turn on the collision. Right? I think by default it don't have a collision, so I will just click and choose use complex collision as simple. Save it. So now if I play, yeah, so I'm not able to walk through the chair anymore. Okay, so this is how you build up the collision. Same thing for these objects. Right click, double click, and here you can choose collision, and then you can choose use complex as simple. If you do not want to choose this option, you can also do collision, add a box simplified collision, So basically, it's using a box represent the collision. In fact, this might be performance-wise is a little bit cheaper because it doesn't really calculate the triangles. So if I play, you see this one actually behave like a box. It's a box collision. Okay, so you have many options to build up the physics in Unreal. All right, I think I'm pretty happy with all the structures. So you have this, Megascan. So just keep in mind this folder is new. So let me just change the color. So I know this is a new folder, and this preset is a new color. Okay. So I think that's it. Then the next thing I want to talk about is like if you have experimented many good objects, maybe at some point you want to add in a cool material, right? So you go to Quixel Bridge. I want to find some really nice, I don't know, floor material. You can search. There are tons of them here. I want to find something really, really cool. I don't know, maybe some nice, maybe marble, or maybe tile. I think tile would be nice, right? So if I click this, this looks like a pretty nice material, right? The tile. And this is a marble. This is pretty nice tile too. Yeah, so you can choose. There's a huge library here. You can find definitely something you like. So maybe I want to find something more historic. I think I like this tile. I will go ahead. Let's go ahead and download this tile. Okay, the tile is high resolution for sure. So here I will choose low quality. Download. Okay, so I'm downloading this texture from the bridge and then add. You'll see it's automatically add into the folder called surface, and this is the name for that material, right? To use it, I can just simply drag and drop. You'll see that material will show up on the ground. It's super easy, super nice. If you want to apply to this, sculpture, you can drag and drop. You see that material show up, right? I think this doesn't really make sense. So go back to details, and here you can simply reset the material back to the default. Yeah, so this is how you're adding a nice material to your level, and I save it. Okay. I think that's enough to talk about the how to adding things into your GitHub. You play with it. Okay. The next thing I like to talk about is what if I wanna I'm happy with the current level. I wanna migrate this level from my local Unreal project into the UHP meta. So in the future, I can use it and push it to the cloud. I can share with other students. Okay, I will show you the whole process, how to do it. This whole process is really simple. But I do want to mention a little bit because here is one thing it is good everybody understand is besides the 18-tone level, right? I added some, I downloaded something to the Megascan folder. I could download something to the MS preset, right? This is the default preset. So theoretically, if I migrate to my UHP Mega, these three folders will all show up, right? So the 18-tone, let's change the color. So the 18-tone folder, this one will show up, and as well as a Megascan and the MS preset, right? So I will show you how this works. The easiest way you can do that is to simply right-click your level, and then you choose Actions and Migrate. This is better than copy-paste because when you do Migrate, Unreal is searching all the folders find all the files associated with it, right? So it's super smart. You don't have to worry about the interconnections between files. However, there are some pros and cons as well, because this level we use a lot of content, for example, from the flying superhero. We have, some content from the starter content, third person content. It basically links everything, right, to it. So in our case, the only file you need to migrate is this file, the level file. You probably only also want to include some files from the Megascan, right? Because you download this from the Megascan. You also probably need Megascan preset. This is one come from the download, but you don't really need other levels. So basically, my suggestion is you turn off everything. Only highlight the folders you have changed, right? So in this case, it's 18 Tom, Megascans, and MS preset. So this would be my approach. Okay. I think this would be fun. Megascan, MS preset. Yep. So let's do that. So I'm going to only select 18 Tom, Megascan, and MS preset. Click OK. Then ask you, hey, where you want to migrate this level to. So here I will choose GitHub, right? HHP meta content, right? So basically this will be my destination, UHP meta content. And here we can see there's 18 Tom, but you don't have to double click the folder, just point to the content, select folder. So now all the file will be migrated into that location. Okay, so now if I close it, if you don't want to migrate the level, you can also migrate individual files. You can right click and then you can choose actions. You can migrate, right? The reason I want to do just through the level is just easier because all of this associated with the level, it will be copy paste into that location automatically. So now if I close and then I open my GitHub, let's see what happened. Right. So theoretically, if I reopen my content, under the 18 Tom, I should have a new level show up. Okay. But also you have this Megascan folder showed up, right? You also have this MS preset folder show up. So this is all come from the migration. And if I go to 18 Tom, I see this is the 18 Tom level, right? This is the one I just migrate from my Unreal project into GitHub. Okay. So this would be my approach. You're doing this in Unreal. You probably want to wonder why we don't just do it directly here, right? Because as I mentioned before, you guys are experimenting things. Sometimes even you download hundreds of materials, but at the end you didn't use it, right? In that case, you don't really need to migrate into the UHP project. You just keep this in your local. So here, if I show you another quick example, like in the bridge, so maybe I, find something I thought is useful, but later I didn't use it. For example, I see maybe let's go to the Greek. I don't know. I want to find some archaeology stuff, right? So I think, wow, this is really cool. Some nice high polygon, coins. Maybe even some sculptures, or maybe I find something like a really high polygon tree, or maybe something like an entire building. It is possible. You can get some really complicated stuff here. And I download, right? Low poly, I download, right? So this is basically a big stair. Then I added, right? Right? So you can see this will show up in my local Unreal project, Megascan folder, right? 3D asset, and you have this right large is a sculpture. Oh, this is only in the staircase. I thought it's the entire staircase, but it just came in as a column. That's weird. Oh, because we didn't choose the pieces here, right? That's kind of weird. But anyway, let me just try something else. Yeah, like this one, right? So I will go ahead and download. Yeah, I can do a tons of this downloading and then add it to my project. So each time I add, right, you'll see these new objects will show up. Drag it here, it's there, right? That looks pretty okay. But for some reason I didn't really use it at the end, right? So in this case, I can delete this too from my level. I save it. So when I migrate my level, right? So here, if I choose my action and migrate, right? So I will do the same thing. Disable all the levels. I don't need. Well, I probably need the preset, but I don't need these others. Right? So you can see this 18 tom including this new level, but in the Megascan, right? It doesn't include these two new downloads because it's understand you didn't use them in your level, so doesn't include them here. Okay, so that's the smart thing about using migrate. It keeps the relationship of all the objects. If you do want to actually dive into this, you can right click. You can even see the reference viewers. You understand this is actually a hierarchy of this level. This is all the geometry associated with it, right? So when you migrate, it's only search all the files connected and only copy them into your new level, into your new project. It doesn't really bother to migrate others. So that's a nice thing about using it. But however, if you do want to actually use it, for example here. So now if you save and then go back to your level, right, and then you migrate, actions, migrate. So this time, let me just deselect. Sorry, you have to do this migration deselect each time. Right. So deselect this. Right. So now you see in a Megascan, it does include this one more, sculptures within that. So if you click OK, I pointing to the UHP meta. Click yes. Do you want to overwrite? Yes. I want to choose apply to all. Now they are all migrated into this new project. So now in Unreal, go back to GitHub. If I open the GitHub, right, and I should be able to see that new level being migrated from my local Unreal into UHP meta. Let's just double check. Right, UHP level. Yeah, you see this new one showed up. All right. So sorry for this kind of long process. I just want to make sure this is clear. And now I'm ready to run the GitHub desktop. I can see, hey, here's all the new files, right, generated by myself. And also there's something now belongs to me. I will deselect them, and then I will say new sculpture from Megascan bridge, right? So I can commit this. So by doing so, you are not just commit your 18 tom folder, but also you upload it something to Megascan folder. So commit. It should be fun because you only have like 3-4 new stuff there. All right. It also means in the future when other students download from Megascan, they're probably gonna push to the same folder. So hopefully, I think you guys don't have to see a lot of conflict because you're basically downloading from the same source. They all will show up. The new content will all show up in this Megascan preset and the Megascan folder. But that's okay. I think since we are all share this, right? Let's give the color. So we are all share this. It's okay. You can see other people's download from 3ds, from Surface. Maybe in the future you can even use their download in your own, level. Why not, right? So this is kind of like a shared folder as well. Cool. I think that's it for this long tutorial.